Welcome to the Mixed Movement, where we speak candidly about the uncommon commonalities that people of mixed race face in our world today. Here, we listen, share, learn, and acknowledge that through our stories, we are all connected. We are your hosts,
Nate,
Chris,
and Rachel Go. Welcome to the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show. Today, we're going to be discussing why we feel like we aren't accepted as mixed race and biracial people in our current society. So let's get started. Welcome to the show.
hello.
hey.
So this is actually a topic that one of my followers had kind of brought to my attention that we haven't discussed before. So, of course, I really did want to jump on this and talk about why we are not as accepted as we should be in our society. So, Chris, do you want to kind of take the reins on this one?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Just throw the reins. Here you go. Got some light with your face. Just bam. Okay. I've spoken to some people, obviously, and I know what their issue, is. This is from a long time ago that I had these conversations because I don't really have these conversations anymore. But there are some people who, when they look at us, we represent, I guess the word would be kind of a dissolution of who they are, kind of like now we've mixed with them and they're not as 100% whatever they were so proud of before. So we are representing what's going to happen in the future, and they see themselves as disappearing. And we're gonna take over. Yep.
Yeah.
So you won't be 100% whatever. There's just gonna be us. We're all gonna look the same. So there'll be nothing to separate us. And I think that there's a lot of people that have taken pride in not having that mixture. I'm solid. I'm from here. I have, whatever in my DNA and blah, blah, blah. But to see us is something that, causes some fear, because it's almost like they're looking at us as their extinction, so to speak.
That's actually a really interesting perspective.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but people that are not mixed, they don't have to make a decision. Like, they're born already who they are, and they're very firm in that for the most part, the ones that I've talked to at least. And we're not. So we're kind of we're born rebelling almost,
Right.
but from which side, or from both sides. There are some people, I love the rose-colored glasses people that are like, oh my God, you're the best of both worlds. I'm like, wow, I wish there were more people like you.
Right.
It's usually viewed the opposite. Or, there's also a lot of deep-rooted issues when we're looked at, because how can you take someone who was basically like a slave and someone who was a master and put them together and just let them walk about like that's okay, and that's pretty much who we are. Like, you can look at our features sometimes and you can see, oh, she's got African American lips, but she's got European nose, and just that mixing of things is also a reminder of what went on even then. There was a lot of mixing. So you'll have some people that were just not a very good reminder of the past sometimes,
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it's not our fault, of course, but we're born rebels, like we have to be. And I think it's just kind of in us. I think that there's a lot of, I don't know if we spoke about this before, but I realized when I watch different movies, the effect they have on me. I watched, oh my God, 12 Years a Slave. 12 Years of Slave. Oh my God, you couldn't stop me from crying. I cried all night. Oh, it was horrible. There's something in the DNA that's like,
No.
You know what? You know this story. You really do.
And
you really know this story.
Interesting about that is I've never seen that movie. Just the previews, just because I know, I mean, it's so deep rooted in me, even though, I am mixed, that I'm like, nope, sorry, can't do it. So I'm proud of you. I can't.
Braveheart. I watched Braveheart. Same thing. And I just, could not stop crying and was confused myself. Like, it's a movie, but it
It's
wasn't.
No,
not,
hey,
but it's
It
not.
wasn't
I
a
get
movie.
it.
It's actually a memory. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a memory that your DNA has. Someone in your ancestry went through that same thing, and it's like a DNA explosion when things like that happen. You're like, oh my God, why is this affecting me like this? This is serious, and you carry that with you. It's really heavy. So I don't think that there's a lot of people. Thank goodness for the podcasts and podcasts like ours, and people that are willing to open their mouths and say what's going on. I don't think there's a lot of people that understand the
Yeah.
struggle that we go through. Like, we can't pick a side like that. We can't say we're just not gonna feel,
Yeah.
for this side. No,
Well,
can't push
in
it
all
away. Like,
honesty, there's something that you had mentioned earlier that about people who are quote unquote at this point in our society monoracial, or they know that they're Polish or Romanian or whatever. There is a sense of pride, especially in our country where you come from. I mean, we're born and raised outside of Chicago. You go into Chicago, and for every single country, there's a village, there's a town. I
yep.
mean, you're proud of where you came from and what you had to go through to essentially flee your country or for whatever reason. So there is a sense of pride in knowing
Yeah.
your race,
Oh
especially
yeah.
Eastern Europeans, and that's prevalent where we were raised. So I do find it really interesting when you pointed out that like people feel like we are taking
Hmm.
that away,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
existing, just by
Hmm.
existing. I feel like I might have had that thought many years ago, but I didn't really allow myself to deep dive into it the way I have been recently, especially.
Hmm.
But I think that, yeah, that would evoke a little bit of fear.
Hmm. Yep.
It definitely would. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I see it. It's a fear factor from a lot of people. It still just blows my mind that it exists. But I don't run into it like you said, Chris, like that often anymore. But
Hmm.
of course, like back in the day, yeah, it was everywhere you went. Way back in the day, I'm talking 20 years ago now almost. There were certain neighborhoods you just didn't go to
Hmm.
because of
Yeah.
it, and
In the suburbs or in
in
the
the
city?
suburbs. Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, in the suburbs too. Yeah, it was I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not going to name the suburbs, but I mean some of them are still kind of
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's still that
Absolutely.
way. There's like a
Yep.
sense of pride in that neighborhood and it's like they just want it to stay the same. So, but it's a
Hmm.
fear thing. I don't run into it as much anymore. I mean, speaking of, I mean, I was on a job site today and the two guys I was working right next to, you just look at each other. You know one when you see
You,
one. We
yeah.
were
Yeah.
mixed. He was mixed. They were both mixed, and they were brothers. And they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, they're like, yeah, you look like us." I'm like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
taking over. No,
I
joking.
swear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, it's like that's. I mean, that's a big difference from. I mean, 20 years ago,
Oh,
it just
absolutely.
you didn't run into it like that. I mean,
No. Our
I
people,
take the kids to school, and there's tons of little mixed kids everywhere.
Yeah.
I
So they're all
love
so damn
it
cute.
so
Hmm.
Yeah,
much. It makes me so
yeah.
happy to see. I mean, I live pretty rural and it's interesting. I don't see as much, especially black and white, but definitely where I live, a lot more Hispanic and white mixed kids. And it makes me so
Okay.
happy. And it
Hmm.
honestly, that gives me such hope
Mm.
for the
Hmm.
future because I don't think my kids are going to get asked the questions that I was asked
No,
Right. No.
at all.
Mm-mm.
And I
I think you're right.
know now that where we are, because the mixed race demographic is growing so quickly,
Hmm.
people hopefully will have less questions and there will be a lot more acceptance into society. Are you struggling to understand the complexities of your mixed race identity? Do you feel isolated by the lack of resources available to help you and others around you understand the nuances of being mixed race? Now is the time to take action and schedule your free consultation for my individual coaching course. In our time together, you will gain a deeper understanding of your unique mixed race identity and how to navigate the challenges you face. Here are just a few examples of what I have helped individuals just like you gain from my course. You will learn how to embrace and love every aspect of what makes you unique. You'll learn how to navigate complex social situations with confidence. And I have even helped many of my clients move out of areas where they didn't feel safe because they are mixed race. Don't wait any longer to gain the confidence and understanding that you need to live a more fulfilling life. Message me on Instagram at polished.velvet, on Facebook at Mixed Movement, or feel free to email me directly at coachrachelgo@gmail.com. And that's CoachRachelGo@gmail.com. Let's make magic happen in your life. But as an adult, especially being out in the public a lot more than I used to over the last several years, I find that I still get asked what I am. I would say 90% of the time, probably 99% of the time, it's never aggressive. It's never like, what are you? You don't belong.
They're just curious.
It's kind of like, what country are your people from? I've never seen anybody, fight with your skin tone. I love your skin. Like, it's always meant well. But I feel even with that question, it still makes me feel like I don't belong. I'm not accepted because every time it gets asked, it's like, well, there's that wound that is still open that I've had to navigate my entire life. I feel like we aren't accepted because, honestly, race is a social construct. It was created to keep the white man, the rich man, and the black man, the poor man, the slave. And even if you go back historically and you look at mixed race slaves, they sold for hire, which is really interesting to me the more I deep dive into that and I learn about it. But we are still not accepted fully, even back then, into society.
Yeah, I get you.
It's interesting. I feel like it's shifting a little bit more, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't think it has a choice but to shift, because our population is increasing like daily, and old thoughts and old traditions, are still valid, but there's people that are coming up that are more open and they're going to school with people of different races. So they don't have those same thoughts that, their parents or grandparents had. And so it just opens up the world to, just love for people, period.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, that's something to be celebrated. It really is. I think it's amazing and it's about time. And I remember I told grandma, our father's mother, a long time ago, I was like, we taking over, right? She was like, what? I was like, look, I'm telling you, watch. We're going to be taking over everything. We're going to be everywhere. And then Obama won, and I called grandma. I was like, yo, remember
Told you.
what I said? She thought it was so funny. And she was a big fan. She thought he was so cute. So I was like, see, we won.
That is actually something that is really, I think, has been pivotal for the mixed race demographic in recent years as becoming more accepted. I think that has kind of pushed us about 10 steps farther than we would be right now with having Barack Obama as a president and the world kind of seeing like, oh, you're cool.
Right.
Oh, you can do this too?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
No, did you guys pick up on any people kind of referring or kind of having that opinion of Barack Obama? Like, oh, you're a black man, but you're cool. I did.
Yeah. Oh,
I picked up a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And saying, and a lot of people are like, oh, we have our first black president. I'm like, yo, he's mixed.
Yeah.
There was a comedian that said something like that. It's like, I think she was saying that, she was so proud that we have a black president. She's like, but if he fucks up, he's mixed.
We're
not a black man anymore, like, oh, wow, that's so funny.
Pushed out again.
Right?
Oh, man.
Like,
that is funny.
Yeah. I think a lot of the comfort that people take in being able to put people in different categories, we've kind of shattered that a little bit. To not be able to do what makes you comfortable, meaning put someone in a certain category so that you are like, okay, cool, I know what type of person this is, whatever. To run into someone you can't categorize will make you uncomfortable because now you don't really know how to talk to them or where to come at them. Whereas you have this whole dialogue set up for this particular race and you have this whole dialogue for this particular race. So then you're just looking at them like, okay, you say something first because
Yeah,
I don't know
because
what
I don't know
I
which
don't
way to
know
go.
which
Yep.
bag to pull from, you know?
Yep.
which
I don't know what
coach
music
to
to
switch
play.
to.
Like,
Exactly.
right.
But I will say this too, as far as being accepted, it's one thing we've discussed how people accept us or why they might not accept us. But I don't feel like I've been fully accepted into either racial group, either.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
can see
if
that.
I fully could be. Now, let me clarify because I feel like I just dropped a bomb, especially for a lot of our listeners. I don't feel like I need that at this particular point in my life, but it has been kind of an underlying issue for me growing up, especially junior high, teenage, early 20s, seeking acceptance. I think that, well, I know that that is genetically in our DNA to be part of a community. We had
Mhm.
to survive. We still have to survive. I have not ever fully felt accepted by white people. I'll just say it, by white people because I get asked that question. What are
Yeah,
you?
I get it.
Well,
I get
clearly I'm
that.
not one
No,
of
it's
you, so I don't know. you know,
yeah.
but I am.
I felt that way for a very long time. And if I'm being honest, as of like probably the last 6 or 7 months, I don't feel that separation anymore
Same.
from anywhere. And I don't know what it is exactly. I mean, I think it's just I think it's all part of like acceptance, like accepting self, like you said, like
Mhm.
maybe you don't you don't need to fit in to anyone. Like you're they're human, I'm human, like we're all the same. Like that's just the way I see it now. And
Mhm.
I've been feeling it. Like I said, I used to feel it. Like I said, even 7, 8 months ago, I would go to a job site and say the majority of people that like my coworkers or something like this, say they're white. And I would walk up to this company and they would automatically like look for like the white guys to talk to, you know, it always happened. But now, like I said, I don't know what the hell it is. I go there. I still like today went to a job site, quite a few guys. They were talking to me. They knew like, or it was just, it wasn't, I didn't feel that separation anymore. Like it was
Yeah.
just, and maybe it was me before, like maybe like subconsciously just kind of stepping back a little, but now I
Mhm.
lead,
Right.
and maybe
Yep.
that, like I said, maybe it is me now, and
Yeah.
just something has shifted. So, but I
Mhm.
don't feel it, and honestly, it feels great. Like walking in anywhere, I don't care where I go, who I'm around. I don't worry about that anymore. So I'm grateful for that.
And you
But
said that this is something that you noticed just in the last six,
yeah,
seven
like
months.
6, 7 months.
Do
Yep.
you feel like there is anything that has happened or anything that you've done to pivot that for yourself?
Um, I would say there's work I've been doing with therapy,
Uh-huh.
which is great, and my therapist is amazing. We've been doing a lot of work on shame, you know,
Ah.
and now
Oh.
I'm letting
That's
a lot
nice.
of that go, and
Mhm.
it feels great. That, and then like I said, I mean I have a new job, so it's like a between those two, it's like a fresh start fully,
Mm.
you know, and it just
That's
feels really
huge.
good. So I would have to say those two things there would be the biggest. And I think I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older, but I've really tried to pay attention to like everything I say. Like I'm more mindful with my words. I try to be.
What do you mean? I'm curious about that. Like, do you mean kind of reading your audience a little bit more, or do you mean kind of code switching and making sure that you're speaking appropriately depending on your
Anyone I'm around, I mean, I think I try to think about how my words will affect them. You know, if I'm coming off a certain, I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to explain. It's like I think about what I'm saying to them, and if my words may have any kind of aggression or any kind of like leading them towards. I try to make sure I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I talk differently now to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's real hard for me to put my finger on it, but I don't know, just more clear, more understanding. Not, I could say this. I think I was more of a. There's a thin line between being a know-it-all and knowing a lot. I came off as like a know-it-all for
Yeah.
kind of in certain situations, like with work. I know I did, but now I know I'm not doing that. And I notice the difference with everyone I interact with. So, and like I said, it's hard to really
No,
put my finger on it, but
do you feel
yeah,
more that you were interacting with people equally?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
treating
I could.
everybody kind of more just as human?
I would say. I mean, yeah, more human. Why I say it's so hard for me to put my finger on it because I've been doing a lot of this shame work, and I think there were lots of ways that was affecting me. Like I just wasn't even aware of it,
Likely, yeah.
and now just letting it go, I feel like like I don't know, when I have conversations with people, it's just it affects them differently. I think I used to talk at people
Yeah.
because I had so much shame. It was my ego was stepping up,
Yeah.
because I just the fears that I had of
Yep.
judgment. But
Yep.
now, like I said, I've dropped a lot of the shame. I don't worry about judgment, and I just speak freely, and it feels better. So, like I said, I think
Mhm.
quite a few things have shifted because of that. So I know
Yeah.
it's
No, that's amazing. Truthfully,
yeah,
that especially with doing that work on yourself, you can just show up completely different, no matter the
yeah.
circumstances.
That's exactly it. It really doesn't matter. So it feels good. I mean, like I said, I don't run into it as much anymore, but I think a lot of it had to do with just
Shame.
shame work. It's mind blowing. Like I said, I'm like deep into this work, and it just when you start doing the shame work, I mean everyone has shame,
Yes.
Mhm.
it, and it's mind blowing how much it shapes the way you behave and how you interact with people. There's a lot of shame there. So like when you start to do the work, one, you realize like why are you feeling shame in the first place? Like let it go. It's usually just a story that we run over like over and over and over again. And it's once you realize like you made up that story, you can
Mhm.
get rid of that story just as easily.
Right.
Then you start recognizing it like in people and like I'm like holy shit, it's everywhere. So then
Everywhere.
you have like grace for everyone
Hmm.
because
Mhm.
you just see
Yeah.
everyone's in it. So I think I don't know, like I said, that's been a big thing to help with all that now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
No,
feel like this is part of my therapy session,
yeah.
guys. It's been
That's
great, thank you, I
awesome.
Thank
appreciate the support, it's
thank
been
you.
really
No,
nice.
really. Thank you for sharing that because that is something that, especially when I work with my clients in their self love and self acceptance, that's a big factor. And I think being mixed
It's a
race,
lot.
we may not have been told directly those things that cause us to feel shame. We may have
Yeah.
felt it between tension of family members, or some people have not known their parents at all
Yeah.
because I met somebody recently whose mom left because she's racist and left
Mhm.
Mm.
that so I mean talk about shame.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, that's
might not
deep.
have been something that they had been told directly, but to pick up on that, I mean, you do pick up on that, especially as you're growing up,
Yeah.
and you do let it kind of dictate how you show up in the world.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So
And
thank you for sharing that. I'm sure that was not that's deep, that's personal. So thank you.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's the way I like it.
I think that we do talk a lot about how other people treat us and how we want to be accepted, and I think and this is only my thought in my opinion that because we would walk into rooms like looking for or expecting something or already judgmental, I think we started to form our own prejudice against other people. And And once I started, I'm like, man, so wait a minute. Am I how different am I? You know what I'm saying? From them. If I'm already looking at them like, oh, I've categorized them. I'm like, you're gonna look at me this way because of this. So you're this type of
Yeah.
person. So I realized that I was also categorizing other people and
Yeah.
then making myself uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of that, and everyone isn't like that. So I think I just started changing the narrative in my own mind and taking away the control that I had given other people through my own thoughts of prejudice. Oh, they're not going to like me. They're going to think this. And these people, half the people are like, what? Like, oh my
Yeah, not
God,
even. Yep.
what is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with us. So I think that what I started doing more is I stopped worrying about them accepting me and I started accepting them.
Mm. Yeah.
Ooh.
I was looking for my
Me too.
tribe. Everyone in my tribe doesn't look just like me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I have all different backgrounds in my tribe,
Yeah.
and we all just look at each other with love. Like
Yeah.
we don't look at each other like, oh, you're separate, but I want to be your friend. We're like, no, my tribe means we're a part of the same tribe, you
Yeah.
know, accent, no accent, straight hair, curly hair, it doesn't matter. And so I just started accepting more
Yeah.
because I realized that, when you see things that you don't like in someone else, a lot of times that's because you possess that,
Yourself. Yeah.
So I think that I definitely was guilty of having my own little prejudices against
Yeah.
people and not giving them a chance.
If
Yeah.
you
I think that's true.
if you could see my face right now, it's
I
like
see I'm like, dang, Rachel, are you okay?
Yeah.
it looks like I just took like cough medicine as a kid, like that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it
because
is.
because
Yeah.
I have been guilty of that.
Yeah.
I've been very guilty of that, especially working in the salon industry for 20 years on and off. I've realized this a long time ago, but I definitely put my walls up and I was always on the defense whenever I had a new client and blah, 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 blah. And because I did get that question a lot and I still do, like at least once a week, which is crazy. But I guess I realized that especially in my past, I would also judge people like, oh,
Mhm.
this is what she looks like. She's going to ask me. She's
Yep.
going to ask me,
Yep.
or she's
Yeah.
going to just treat me this way.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say I was totally right. I feel like maybe 25-30% of the time I was accurate in my judgment of other people.
Mhm.
But that probably affected how I showed up too.
Yeah, it did. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's the energy that you put off when you sorry, Rachel, fix your face.
I
Oh my
can't
God.
fix my face.
Yeah, but that's it. And when Nate was saying how he shows up now and it's different, it's the energy that you're putting out there. Like now
Totally.
you're giving this welcoming energy and you're like, hey, like you don't have to come over to me because
Yeah.
guess what? I'm coming over to you.
Yeah. Hey.
So it's just a different energy that you put out and you're gonna get what you put out.
Totally.
And I think
So
we're all saying the same, like it comes down to the same thing. It's like acceptance.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
that's where it all starts at. Like you've heard the sayings of like, oh, you can only love someone, you can only hate someone as much as you love or hate yourself, or whatever the hell it matters. Not that you want to hate yourself, but it's how you treat everyone else. And it really starts with self for everything. Like I said, I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
you
a
really,
two-way street.
yeah, it's that
It's a two-way
saying, it's
street.
that one
just-
saying of
We're judging
what
ourselves.
Peter says about Paul says a lot more about Peter than Paul. Like that's
Yes.
exactly what it is. It's
Yes.
you just
Yeah.
so really, and it's pay attention to what you're saying and thinking about other people.
I'll
there
be
you go.
100% transparent. And I think one of the things that kind of cued me into my own behavior and my own thoughts was I believe it was on Facebook. It was something on Facebook and a guy sent me a friend request. And like when I saw his profile, I was like, this guy don't like black people. Like that's the look that he had. I'm like,
Oh, that's funny.
is he confused? Like, let me look at my profile picture. Is he confused?
Yeah. because
Because this guy looks like he do some like really underhanded shit with black people. Like,
oh
so
shit,
so then I looked at his profile and his wife was black. He had mixed kids. He had a bunch of grandkids, and all he had was all these pictures of his family, and they were so loving. And I'm like, I'm an asshole.
Oh, gotcha.
no
Yeah,
shit.
It's me.
It's
It's
me.
yeah.
absolutely me.
I
That's
am the
crazy. That's
I
funny
problem.
though.
did that,
Yep.
Yeah.
so
My
I
bad.
yeah, oops. Yeah, I'm gonna be your friend. Sorry, you'll never know. You'll never
Yeah.
know.
You'll never know my thoughts.
Maybe he just
Never,
got.
Bobby.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So sorry, but yes, we do that. And on some levels you have to do that. It's kind of like it keeps you safe. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
It'll give you like, up, let me make sure this person is okay because I'm getting these vibes. And so that's the one way of keeping you safe, but you have to realize when you're crossing the line. And
Yeah.
now you're starting to throw everybody over there,
Mhm.
and then you miss the opportunity. Just like
yeah,
we say, you missed the opportunity to
exactly.
know me because of how you feel. Well, we're also missing the opportunity to get to know them because of how we feel and our
Right.
fears, So I definitely got to point the finger at myself sometime
Yeah. Oh,
because
totally.
I've done that. I've done that. I catch myself now. I catch myself
Yeah.
and I'm like, stop that right. That's old behavior. I don't do that anymore. Come here, give me a hug.
You don't want
If
to
you
Yeah.
don't love if
miss
you
the
don't love
opportunity.
mixed people, you about to love mixed people. Let me get this love all over you. So
Exactly. No, exactly. Yeah. Wow. I feel like I just learned to right here, right now, that acceptance is
we're all in therapy
we're
right
all
now.
in
Yeah.
therapy. Acceptance is a
That's what
two-way
this
street.
is.
Yep.
It's not just us accepting ourselves and our shame or whatever, we've been kind of carrying or hiding
Mm-hmm. Oh
um,
yeah.
for ourselves, but also for the people that we interact with
Yeah.
in the
We
world.
mimic. We
I feel
mimic
like a
those
lot of it
behaviors.
has been conditioned. We've been
Yeah,
conditioned
absolutely.
to, I'm not saying you should walk around the world accepting everybody and putting your guard down
No.
and not watching your back, because you still have to be aware of the company you're in too. And
Yeah.
you do still
Mhm.
have to be aware. But yeah, I've been very guilty, especially in the salon and beauty industry, for
Mm.
putting those immediate stamps on people saying, oh shit, here goes. All right,
Mhm.
Yeah.
bring it.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
being pleasantly surprised when they don't show up or
Yeah.
treat me with
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yep.
but I will say I still do find it a little bit of a game when I do have that feeling of judgment,
Mhm.
of busting that. Like I love proving people wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like confusing people. I don't really give a shit
Yeah.
what they think. I just
Yeah,
look
that's true.
at me with a question mark,
Yeah.
please. I had a lady tell me last week that I look like an avatar.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like,
Oh
I'm
I
my
like,
mean, that's a compliment,
actually kind of
That's cool.
okay,
amazing. No,
okay.
I would be flattered.
Avatar Chris.
I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
All
I love
right.
an avatar. I love an
Yeah.
avatar. So cool.
That's
First time for
amazing.
everything.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah,
I'm a fucking avatar.
you are a fucking avatar. We all are.
I am a fucking yes, yes. Yes. Avatars for life.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Amazing. That is amazing. All right. So I do believe that acceptance is a two-way street, but a lot of the work does begin with yourself too,
Absolutely.
so that you
Absolutely.
can show up confident and
Mhm.
accept. Because if you can't accept yourself for who you are, you're not going to be able to accept the world around you for who they are. I
No.
There you go. That's it. That's what
Yep.
I'm saying.
a lot of accountability there, which is my
Yes.
favorite word. I love
Yeah.
accountability. There's nothing sexier than accountability. Thank you very much. Just throwing that out there.
I could think of quite a few other
Well, okay,
words
all
and
right.
things to
Oh,
think of
shit.
other
Never
than,
mind.
but that's cool.
I mean,
We'll save that for another podcast.
one of the sexy.
Yeah, gotcha.
There you go. Okay, I can
Deal.
go with
I'll
that for
take that.
sure.
Yep.
Ah, All right.
Oh, you guys. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing everything that you have today. This has been therapy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
And thank you to all of our listeners. We will see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. We want to be here for you, and we can't do what we're doing without your support. Please hit subscribe, and to stay up to date, head on over to mixedmovement.com. That's MIXDMOVEMENT.com to stay up to date with news and more. We are the Mixed Movement. See you next time.